boys. It's time to start. Boys! I just saw them a few minutes ago. Where did they go?
I don't know. I just saw them too. They were right back there. Savannah, what time is it?
It's after 7 o'clock and now we're late. We're just gonna have to start without them.
They're always late for drum practice, and now they're on.
Can't we give them a few more minutes? No, these people are waiting. Come on, girls, we're fine. We can do this without them. Take your positions.
You haven't noticed, I never left my position. Well, aren't you just the perfect one?
None of that! Why can't we be friends?
Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends?
This is getting out of hand!
Ha! Gotcha!
If you're all ready to begin, now.
Let me tell you a story that started long ago and continues up to the time we all know. It begins with a guy on Marco Polo who toured Asia 700 years ago. Later in Italian, Cristobal Colombo sailed with a fine remark, good in a go.
Wait a minute! What are you doing? This is not what we rehearsed!
That was too boring. Boring?
Yes! Boring! This was you guys. And this is us. I rest my case.
Seriously? We're just standing there doing nothing. He does make a good point.
Never mind that. Tell us, what are you doing?
What are we doing? Can't you tell? We're introducing tonight's feature presentation.
What do you mean introducing? I call it vomit inducing.
Introducing the vomit-inducing. No, I don't think so.
Ezekiel, would you stop that? This is completely off script, and you look absolutely ridiculous.
Script or no script, this is way more fun. Let me tell you a story that started long ago and continues up to the times you all know.
All right, that's enough now, big fella.
Thank you.
We were supposed to introduce these fine people to a production of the history of the Americas, correct?
Yes.
So what better way to do it than to do a rap, a distinctly American form of music that combines the rhythmic, poetic style of England,
To be or not to be? That is the question.
the dominant beat of Africa, the fabulous footwork of Asia.
Hold it right there. Who said Asia was famous for fabulous footwork?
Sing. Kate, it's not your turn yet. On the stage. Sing.
Now, what were you saying about footwork?
Actually, I just made that up. I just wanted to include all the continents that contributed to the making of the Americas.
Let me put it this way. Since rap is a multinational conglomeration of music, dance, and dialogue, it's perfectly suited to introduce this evening's multinational historical presentation.
We appreciate your attempts at creativity. But wouldn't it be easier to just give a simple, ordinary introduction?
What? Like this?
Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, for your evening's entertainment, please welcome the Hard Drama class as we bring to you an entertaining rendition of the history of the Americas.
The year was 1269. Marco Polo was a 15-year-old boy born into a wealthy family of merchants. His parents were Niccolo Polo and Anna de Fusi. Born into a wealthy family, so-called privileged. Isn't that what you're thinking? Some privilege. My father left home with my uncle when I was 3 years old. I was raised by a single mother, and when she died, by my aunts. I didn't feel very privileged.
That's true. His father Niccolo and Uncle Maffio did leave Italy in 1257 to carry on the family merchant business. They traveled to Constantinople, now Istanbul, in Turkey.
Traveled there? Oh no, to say they traveled there makes it sound like a quick business trip, or maybe even a vacation. Some vacation. They spent 6 whole years just passing through. What kind of business trip takes you away from home for 6 years?
Are you finished?
Continue.
Next, they headed east to Uzbekistan.
Another 3 years, as if 6 years wasn't already enough. And they lived in a house they owned. A house? They owned a house in the Ukraine. If you want to live in a house, why not just go home? Sorry, continue.
Next, they headed east to Turkey, and finally to the Far East to see Kublai Khan. They returned to England to bring religious items from the Pope.
It was likely that happened at the Pantheon of the mother of Kublai Khan. She was one of the many Christian Nestorian princesses who married the ruling Mongolian Khans.
Anyway, the Poles returned to Venice in 1257.
Ah, Venice, it's so good to be back. Marco, I'm home. Are you here?
You sound like...
Hello, my name is Marco, and you, sir, are?
Marco?
Polo.
Marco.
Polo.
Marco.
Polo. Marco. Marco. Marco.
Yay!
It's not your turn yet. Off the stage.
Why, of course, Marco. Marco, it's me, your father, Niccolo.
And your uncle, Mafia! And your uncle, Mafia?
This is certainly awkward.
My son, look at me. Can't you see the resemblance?
We'll spare you the details of their reunion.
You're welcome.
It was another 2 years before the Polo family set off on another merchant adventure. But this time, Marco went along.
Uncle Maffio, are we almost there yet?
Nicola, can't you make him be quiet? He won't stop asking the question.
We're getting close.
But that's what you said last year.
Marco, I told you. Holy oil and papal documents from Israel. Boat shopping in Hormuz. A hike through the desert, then up, over, and through the mountains, then the vast expanse of the Central Asian continent. How many times do I have to tell you?
But it's been 3 years, and this camel is killing me.
It really did take the Poles over 3 years, traveling the route that would later become known as the Silk Road, to get to the palace of the Mongolian Emperor Kublai Khan.
Kublai Khan was the grandson of the great and notorious Emperor Genghis Khan. The Polos finally met up with Kublai Khan. Sorry, kid, wrong Khan. Off the stage. The Polos finally met up with Kublai Khan at his summer palace in Chengdu, otherwise known as Xanadu.
Marco, get down!
I finally get a father, and all he does is tell me what to do.
This kid has been naughty patrol with us ever since we started. He's going to get us all killed up.
Niccolo, Maffio, welcome back. How long has he been? 8, 9 years? Who's the kid?
Mr. Khan, let me introduce you to my son, my real pride and joy. A real chip off the old block, if I do say so myself.
The name's Marco.
Polo?
Yes, Marco?
Polo?
Marco.
Polo.
Not this again.
It turned out that Kublai Khan was actually quite taken with the young Marco Polo. He liked his confidence.
Marco was sent on many official government visits to the southern and eastern provinces.
So many, in fact, the Poles didn't return to Venice for another 20 years. When they did return to Venice, they were at war with Genoa.
You know how that is. Give a country 20 years of peace and they'll find a way to get caught up in war.
And Marco ended up in a Genoan prison as a gentleman commander. God! God! God!
What is this yelling?
I need writing materials.
Are you kidding me? What do you think this is?
But I'm bored, and I want to write about my travels. If I'm just going to sit here all day, I may as well do something worthwhile.
I might be of some assistance.
Who said that?
That's just another political prisoner. Rusty Cello.
It's Rusticalio.
Whatever. The Rusty Cello chap has all sorts of fancy writing equipment. I can move him over to the cell next to you if you mean you'll stop yowling at me.
That will do. Marvelous.
So, what can I do for you?
I want to write down the details of my travels to Asia. The tales must be told. The world must know what is out there. Rusty Jello.
My name is Rusticalio. You must know it, and the world must know it. Your tales will certainly be told, but I will tell them. You tell me your stories, and I will write them down.
But they're my stories.
Yes, but it is my paper and pen.
You make an excellent point. You then will be my scribe. The year was 1269. Marco Polo was a 15-year-old boy born into a wealthy family of merchants. His parents were Niccolo Polo and their girl, Anna Diffusi. And this is how we begin the story of the history of the Americas.
You may be wondering why we're beginning a story of the history of the Americas with a trip to the Far East. You're thinking these kids have no concept of geography. But, as you'll see, sometimes you go west to get to the east, and sometimes you start in the east to meet the west.
We move ahead now about 200 years, but we're still in Genoa, Italy, where there lived a little boy by the name of Cristobal.
Reading about the adventures of Marco Polo. Every night this was my fables, but I'm not so sure.
Gabe, what are you talking about?
I'm not Gabe, I'm Cristobal.
Crystal ball?
Yes, Cristobal.
What are you talking about?
Cristobal, that you said, isn't it?
No, I said Cristobal Colombo. we call him Christopher Columbus.
Well, where he is, that's who I am.
No, you're not. Get off this.
Imagine you're living 500 years ago. You're in the city buying meat from the local butcher, who bought it from the local farmer, who butchered it yesterday. Great fresh meat.
Not so great. No, it's Richard.
And since there was no government agency controlling the sales of meat and levels of bacteria, well, you get it.
Yuck. What the merchants really wanted were spices to cover up the flavor of the bad meat.
What does any of this have to do with Columbus and the history of the Americas, you ask? Well, the only way to get spices was to pay extremely high prices to the Turks, who lived between Europe and Asia. The Turks controlled both the land and sea across Asia. This is what would have happened.
Boy, check it out. It's new notes, that's for sure.
What's inside? Don't ask me. I can't make no sense of it.
You there, hey you, can you read?
Sure, I can read icon.
Then tell us what this here says.
Wanted. Brave travelers join soon to be worldly renowned. Historically famous explorer on a merchant ship to India, signed Christopher Columbus.
He's crazy, he is. No one can ever carry that much silver to pay off from Turks to get to the spice road, not by sea, nor by land.
I'm not intending to pay the Turks anything.
And who would you be?
He is Christopher Columbus. Not intending to pay the Turks? Of course you're not intending to pay the Turks. You couldn't even afford a turkey sandwich! Much less a Turkish ransom to pass through your Ottoman Empire. He doesn't intend to pass through the empire. He intends to sail west, around the earth, and approach India from the east.
That's the craziest idea I've ever heard. Y'all pop the edge of the earth and die. Giant monsters will come out of the sea and eat you.
I will ever hear from you again. But how much does it pay?
That's pretty much the reaction Columbus got everywhere he went.
The problem was, he wasn't so sure those bad things might not all happen, just like people said.
But there is one thing he would have to guarantee, and that was a big paycheck. Enough money can drown out the voice of even the loudest fear.
But Columbus couldn't afford big paychecks. He would have to go to the ruling European monarchs. They were the only ones rich enough to pay for the voyage and make the crew forget about monsters.
Well, at least make them forget long enough to get them on the ship and sailing west.
We present to you
The greatest seafarer of all time, Christopher Columbus.
I will see him.
King John, I am your humble servant.
Of course you are. What do you want?
Your Honor, I, the world's greatest adventurer, propose to you an adventure of adventures. It's the adventure to put to shame all former and future adventures. I venture to adventure to the Indies by way of a great merchant ship sailing west.
No, really. Why are you here?
western trading route to the east. Think of the money. Think of the spices and silks, the riches and fame. We will sail in the name of King John of Portugal. That is the craziest idea I've ever heard!
Now what?
On to Italy.
Wealthy ruler of Italy, we present to you the greatest seafarer of all time, Christopher Columbus. I will see him.
Rich person, I am your humble servant.
Glass you are. What do you want?
Your Honor, I, the world's greatest adventurer, propose to you an adventure of adventures. It is the adventure to put to shame all former and future adventures. I venture to adventure to the Indies by way of a great merchant ship sailing west.
Oh, really? What do you want?
Seriously, you're proposing a sailing voyage around the world.
You will be famous. Italy will be the first to open the western trading route to the east. Think of the money. Think of the spices and silks, the riches and fame. We will sail in the name of Italia. That is the craziest that you've ever heard.
And now,
On to England?
Not England. The food is terrible. And the weather. Oh. But worst of all, I hear they cut off people's heads just for the fun of it.
Seriously?
I'm not going.
Me neither.
Come on.
No.
Fine then. I'll just go by myself. King Henry of England, I come to your gracious presence to humbly beseech you.
Hurry up. What is it?
My brother, Christopher Columbus, your most humble servant and ardent admirer.
Stop your schmoozing and get to the point.
Your Honor, I propose to you. Is the adventure to put to shame all former.
You're trying my patience.
Will you pay for him to sail to the Indies by way of a great merchant ship sailing west?
Get out. Get out or I'll have your head. How did it go?
You were right. Food, weather, even the head thing. I'm lucky I saw mine.
Hey, look. Remember, it's Portugal. It can't hurt to try again.
This is terrible. I'm finished. Let's just forget the whole thing.
Come on, let's just try one more. We haven't tried Spain yet. Come on, what do you say?
I told you, no, I'm finished.
I don't know. It's not going very well. But if you two both want, I'll go. You decide.
Here there, Chris. It's you and me. Rock, paper, scissors. Go. Yes! I win! Spain it is!
Fine, but we do it my way. Come on. King Ferdinand, Queen Isabella, I am Christopher Columbus.
Mr. Columbus, we are pleased to make...
Never mind the chit-chat. I'm planning a merchant voyage sailing west in a few months. You have it, I need it. Simple as that. What do you say?
Ooh, voyage, how exciting. I'll have to think about it.
Of course, Your Majesty. Think about it.
Here's the deal. You fund the ship and all the supplies and pay the crew for 2 years' service. They get paid when we return. In return, you get a big cut of whatever we bring in, and if we discover any new lands.
Which we don't intend to discover since we are positive that there are no unknown continents in our way.
If we discover any new lands, we name them in the name of King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella, and they all become Catholic and speak Spanish.
I'll have to think about it.
What do you think?
Ooh, voyage, how exciting.
Columbus was able to obtain 3 trading vessels for his voyage. He took charge as admiral of the fleet.
The captain of the largest ship, the Santa Maria, was the ship's owner, Juan de la Cosa.
The captain of the smaller ship was Martin Alonso Pizon, captaining the Pinta.
And Vienze Yanez Pizon, brother of Martinez Affair, was the captain of the 3rd ship, the Santa Clara, more commonly known by its nickname, the Nina.
On August 3rd, 1492, they were ready to set sail.
Hoist sail!
Here we are, Nina de Pinta and Santa Maria. Nina, are you ready?
Are we ready?
Yeah, we're ready!
Are we ready?
Yeah, we're ready!
Let's go, 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 let's go, go, go!
Nina, no! Pinta, are you ready?
Give me a P.
P!
Give me an I.
I!
Give me an N.
N!
Give me a T. Give me an A.
N!
What does that spell?
Pinta!
I said, what does that spell?
Pinta!
Woo!
What is this?
We got spirit, yes we do! We got spirit, how about you?
the best you can get.
I'm in big trouble. West, to Asia.
The ship's headed to the Canary Islands.
Welcome to the island.
Long Island's Gabe, out of here. The ship's headed to the Canary Islands where they took on supplies and waited 4 weeks before favorable winds allowed them to depart. Columbus expected it would take 4 weeks of sailing to reach Asia after leaving the Canary Islands.
I'm keeping my own calendar, and he said 4 weeks, and it's been 4 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks since we saw birds. Where's the land?
We're all gonna die and Columbus knows it. We're sailing to our deaths.
I say we take over these ships and turn back. Who's with me?
Columbus, it's been 5 weeks since we left the Canary Islands. If we don't turn around now, there will be mutiny.
We can't turn around now. We don't have enough food or water. We never make it.
We have to do something.
Tell them 2 days. Give me 2 more days. Lord, 2 days. I beg you, bring us to land.
They say it's darkest before the dawn, and God won't desert you in your final hour.
And that's exactly how it was for Christopher Columbus and his 3 ships. In the morning on October 12, 1492, land was sighted.
Land ho! Land ho! I see land!
We did it. We saw it first.
Pizza, pizza, she's a hug, she's a
I don't care who saw it first. Let's just get off these boats and onto land.
All of you! We must begin with an exploration party. Captains, man your ships and send your most trusted sailors to go ashore with you.
Welcome to the island.
It's not but it is a good line.
Ahoy there!
Welcome to the islands.
They see us? Where?
I tell you, it's the funniest looking boats I ever did see.
And look at them man that is in them boats. Is they man? Is they ghosts? Maybe they's gods.
We come in peace. We come in the name of the Lord God and in the name of King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella of Spain.
Do you know what he's saying?
Not a ting, just smile and nod.
Why are they nodding like that?
How should I know? Maybe they're getting ready to attack.
Let me try something. We bring you gifts from Their Majesties King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella.
Gifts? What gifts? Nobody ever told me we were bringing gifts.
Of course, we bring gifts. Worthless, shiny beads and trinkets that natives love. It's how we win them over and get them to take us the gold and silver. They have no idea how valuable that is. It's a bit like taking candy especially from a baby. Here, we bring you gifts from afar, treasures from the storehouse of the greatest throne of Europe, the King of Spain.
I still don't know what you're saying. What do we do?
Keep smiling and nodding. Maybe then they won't eat us.
I don't like the way they're looking at us. Bobbing heads are making me nervous. Maybe they're cannibals.
Don't be silly. Let me try again. Here, these are for you. Go ahead, take them.
I think we are supposed to take these things. But what is they for?
They's just worthless beads and trinkets. Maybe these gods is not so smart, and they think this is a good gift.
Come on. But whatever we do, we don't tell them about the gold and silver.
Columbus called the islands where he landed the West Indies, thinking he had found India, but he was actually somewhere in the Caribbean. Now, if Columbus had sailed to America for the Italians rather than the Spanish, would pizza be the national dish of Mexico?
Mamma mia!
Hey, it's still not your turn, and no one ordered any pizza.
I'll take a piece.
No, you won't.
Is pizza really from Mexico?
No, it isn't. Hey, where are you going?
I've got to have some of that pizza.
Me too. There's one for me.
Can you believe them? The foods that we think of as traditionally Mexican didn't come from the Spanish or the Italians, but from the Native Americans. Foods such as tortillas and tamales made use of native foods, such as corn, tomatoes, and chili pepper. I get it. The Native Americans had their own native foods. But how is this moving us along with our story of the history of the Americas? Specifically, North America and the eventual history of the United States of America. Can't we get on with that part of the story? That's where I was going with the native food thing. Who do you think of when you think corn? You know, corn? Corn on the cob? Corn? The Jolly Green Giant? No. Think history. Think about starving people who learned to grow corn so they could stay alive. Oh yeah, the Pilgrims! Of course, the Pilgrims, the true founders of North America.
Hold it right there. The true founders of North America? Sure. After they get in line behind the Native Americans, the Vikings led by Leif Erikson, John Cabot, Ponce de Leon, the French fur traders, Sir Francis Drake, and the lost colony of Roanoke. What about Jamestown or Henry Hudson? I think you forgot a few people.
Calm down. I didn't forget about them. It's just that the Pilgrim story embodies so much of what America has stood for over the centuries. It was a land of hope for people looking to establish a better place that was free from tyranny and oppression, a land of religious freedom.
It's the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Yay! Hold on! The kid's onto something. It really was about becoming the land of the free, and they certainly had to be brave. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Nice ideas, Gabe, but you are too early. Off you go! Now, where were we? Pilgrims looking for a better land and a better way of religious freedom.
There were Pilgrim women.
And there were Pilgrim children!
Pilgrim men.
Look, thy father is in jail. As is thine. Oh, whither shall we turn for aid? I beg of thee, let us go and inquire of our mothers to what shall be done. Make haste! Aye! Make haste! Oh, wait. Dearest mothers, thou must hear us. Oh, mothers, thou must hear us. Good women, do untend unto thy children. We bring to you the most lamentable of tidings. Hey, ladies, listen up. We regret most dreadfully to inform you of the most unthinkable incarceration. We are loath to believe it. Our fathers, thy good husbands, have been placed into the most unfortunate of maleficent situations. We are nigh into being overcome with the grief and horror of the utter preposterousness of this great calamity.
Please, children, do calm thyselves and be forthright with us.
All papas are the slammer, ladies.
Ladies, thou must compose thine emotions. Let us make haste to the jailhouses to make an investigation of the matter.
Alas, and pray tell, what have we here, thou good fellows?
Our good women. A great evil has befallen us.
We have been apprehended by worthless fellows who do but speak treacherous falsehoods about us to the magistrates.
Oh, yes.
Hast thou an understanding of the identity of the vagabond which bears the responsibility for thine most unfortunate circumstance?
Aye, 'tis the scoundrel.
Thou mustn't use such strong language in the presence of our tender youth.
I beg pardon for mine indiscretion. 'Tis none other than the misguided captain of the ship, which had afore conspired to arrange our passage away from these shores to the blessed relief to the land of the Netherlands.
The what?
The Netherlands. That was where the Puritans were planning to go to escape the religious oppression of England. The men were soon set free and found a more trustworthy sea captain to help them on their way.
Pilgrims and strangers, we are bound for freedom in the Netherlands. Prepare to set sail.
Canst thou tell me, O men, to whither have we come?
Of a certainty, we are to that fair city of Leyden.
Fair city is right. Fairly stinketh the sewage in the canals.
Hush, child. We must give thanks to our Heavenly Father for his great deliverance, be it aromatic or
Leyden proved to be unsatisfactory for more than the waste of the canals. The living conditions were crowded, the political situation grew tense, the economy was failing, and the children began to adopt the Dutch culture. It was time for another move.
We must return to England to join ships there, bound for the new world where we can raise our children in freedom.
Lessons 11.
none too soon.
Hearken unto me, thou pilgrims of the faith. We have landed for the last time upon thy fair shores of Mother England. Bid her thy fondest of farewells as we remove ourselves from this sieve of a ship, the Speedwell, and embark for passage upon the Mayflower. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Pilgrims and strangers, bound for a new land.
After sailing for 66 days, the vessel entered into the protection of what is now called Cape Cod on November 11, 1620. There was some disagreement between the Pilgrims and the other travelers over the order of events to come.
I'll go ashore here if I like. Nobody tells me what to do anymore.
Nay, we are all royal subjects of His Majesty King James. We abide by the laws of decency and civility.
This is a new land and a new way of life. Every man for themselves.
Hear, hear.
But our very survival depends on us working together. Understanding that their very survival did indeed depend on them working together, they drafted and signed a governing document called the Mayflower Compact.
Good. Now that we have established a governing law of the land, let us quickly find a suitable location to establish a colony. And I mean quickly. It's freezing.
They sailed into Plymouth Harbor on December 16th and disembarked to make their home. Sadly, they were in bad health from the voyage, and the cold winter weather only made matters worse. Over the next few months, the party of 102 dwindled to just a party of 52.
I can't dig one more hole or plant one more seed.
'Tis no wonder thou hast no strength. The sickness has left us all weak.
This land is not like England. I fear our plants have not the capacity to grow well in this soil. We will not harvest the food necessary to prevent our starvation next winter. Whatever shall we do?
Savages! Indians! Kill us!
No one is going to hurt anyone. We have simply come to offer our assistance. Isn't that right, Somerset?
Quite right, Squanto. Quite right.
Do not be afraid, but hearken unto our agricultural advice.
If you will live, you will do as we tell you. Give heed. First, you build up your soil into a mound, like this.
Exactly. And then plant your corn in the center, along with a fish, to provide necessary nutrients for the soil. Do I not speak truth, Somerset?
You do speak truth, Squanto. You most certainly do. Next, you will plant runner beans, clinging to the stalks and reaching for the skies.
Finally, create a ground cover of squash. It should do quite nicely, I would think. Do you not agree, Somerset?
That I do, Squanto. That I do.
And there you have it, a successful plan to ensure proper nutrition as well as your very survival.
We now take your leave. Thank you for your kind attention.
They appeared to be natives, but they spoke like true Englishmen. What just happened?
So no, the Mayflower was not the first ship to bring Europeans to the North American shore. Sam and Squanto have their own reasons for having had more than enough contact with Europeans to becoming interpreters for the Whig Party of Plymouth Plantation survivors.
But despite the groups that came before them, there's something about these vulnerable families, the brave survivors of devastating hardships, and their quest for religious freedom that draws us in and makes us want to attach ourselves to the ideals that were embodied by this particular group of settlers.
The harmonious relationship between the Pilgrim colonists and their helpful Indian neighbors sadly does not tell the story of all future encounters between these two distinct people groups.
It certainly does not, and that wasn't the only relationship that failed to remain harmonious in the New World of North America. For the most part, those early colonists were just trying to get used to their new home. There wasn't a lot of time to get caught up in disagreements.
When they did have disagreements, though, they mostly centered on who had the rights to the land.
Land disputes definitely led to problems between the colonists and the Native Americans who were being pushed out of their homelands.
It's our land!
It's our land!
It's our land!
It's our land.
We had it first!
We have guts! Not all the new settlers were simply looking for a new place to live. Many were moving in so they could claim vast acres of land in order to add colonial territories to their European homelands.
This led to problems between the colonists and the French up north. We want to take this land.
But it's our land.
But we won't eat. But it's ours.
It's not yours. It belonged to the natives first.
But it's ours now.
We will help them take them back.
Why? So we can take it from them.
And that led to problems between the colonists and the Spanish down south.
Hola, amigos. We want to take your land.
But it's ours. But we won't eat.
But you have the entire southern continent.
You make a good point.
Okay. Adios. It had now 150 years since the Pilgrims had landed in Massachusetts. They were pretty well established in the 13 British colonies. They were no longer worried about protecting their borders from outsiders.
People were ready for new disagreements.
And they found that disagreements started piling up and they created more and more conflict.
But not everyone wanted this.
They were on the verge of a revolution.
A lot of this conflict was aimed at England. 150 years is enough time to give people a feeling of independence from their mother country.
I know what they wanted. Read my lips. No more taxes.
Hey Gabe, read my lips. It's not your turn.
Tell me, bookkeeper person, what's the financial situation of the empire?
Your Majesty, there have been heavy expenditures made in order to maintain our dominance in the colonies of North America.
But haven't we required colonists to provide housing for our soldiers?
We have.
And haven't we stopped colonists from settling west of the Appalachian Mountains, thereby keeping the territory to a manageable size?
We have.
And haven't we introduced the Stamp Act to tax all new documents?
Yes, Your Majesty, we have.
Then it's time to take drastic measures.
Drastic measures, Your Majesty.
First, don't move. Second, yes, drastic measures. We will tax the one commodity they cannot do without. They will put their money where their mouth is, literally.
Oh no, Your Majesty.
what King George did. He taxed their beloved tea.
It seems King George underestimated his royal subjects and their devotion to both England and their tea.
When the ships anchored in the harbors, the colonists demanded that the ships would come back with their unloaded cargo.
It became a battle of the wills that was about more than tea. It was about the resolve of a people who were ready to be autonomous. Autonomous! Self-governing.
I get it. So what happened?
The people, they were angry for the tax they had to pay, but they were even angrier because they had no say. They felt there was a message that they had to get across, but nobody would listen until all the tea was tossed. Boston Harbor, the biggest cup of tea that anyone has ever made in all of history. All up and down the coastline of the East Atlantic shore, the people turned the ships away and said they'd buy no more. But those in Boston Harbor couldn't turn the ships away. Their governor was stubborn and he said the tea would stay. Boston Harbor, the biggest cup of tea that anyone has ever made in all of history. A plan was needed quickly and a riot they did raise, for the tea would be unloaded after waiting 20 days. They came at night and quietly disposed of all the tea, disguised as natives, but they were the sons of liberty. Boston Harbor, the biggest cup of tea that anyone has ever made in all of history.
Don't get so. Here comes everyone. Turn it home.
But he makes a good point. Why isn't tea and crumpets a thing in America anymore?
Here's what happened. The colonists not only won the battle of the tax on tea, they pursued their dream of complete independence from England, and the British eventually lost control over North America. And the United States of America was born.
I get it. So the people were free to drink tea again, weren't they?
Well, yeah, but lucky for us, they sort of lost a taste for it and switched to coffee. And hallelujah, the invention of vanilla lattes.
I'm sensing a theme here. Freedom to explore new lands. Religious freedom. Freedom from taxation without representation. Is this why we call America the land of the free? It sure is. Those freedoms, along with some others, are what make up the backbone of the Constitution and our famous Bill of Rights. So then everyone agreed and lived happily ever after. If only the world worked that way, getting people to agree on those original governing documents was quite a feat. But getting future generations to agree on its interpretations will keep lawyers busy for all eternity. I don't suppose anything has challenged those rights and their interpretations, like the quest for an understanding of equality and human rights. old or injured, just turn them away to fend for themselves. Can't you see that my slaves are just like your employees, only they're being treated better? Then please tell me, why are they so intent on running away all the time? Thankfully, hindsight is 20/20, and we can see the many benefits to Americans today as we work out those many problems that plagued this nation's first 100 years.
After we got past that first century of growing pains, we became a real global force and our problems moved to the world stage.
Except our problems weren't all that different. Just a lot bigger. Take the Great War, for example.
Mr. President, sir, we have a situation in Europe.
What is the situation?
The Austro-Hungarian The Austro-Hungarian Archduke Franz Ferdinand was assassinated by a Bosnian Serb Yugoslav, and now Serbia and Austro-Hungary are at war.
Is that all?
Not quite. You see, Russia is backing Serbia, and Germany is siding with Austro-Hungary. Something about someone's brother's uncle's mother-in-law offended a cousin of their grandmother's niece. And, well, it's a bit of a family feud.
How big of a feud?
Well, sir, Germany told Russia to stay out of it, and now they're fighting one another. Germany then declared war on France, and Britain declared war on Germany.
Has all of Europe gone mad?
I'm afraid it's worse.
Worse? How could it be worse?
Well, Japan is siding with Germany, so they attacked China. I know, it's complicated. Then the Ottoman Empire joined in, and now half of Africa is involved somehow. I'm still trying to unravel all the pieces myself, sir.
So, let's go back to the beginning. An archduke we've never heard of was killed by a rogue assassin, and now the whole world is at war?
That about sums it up, sir. The United States managed to stay out of the conflict for almost 3 years, but after American merchant ships were destroyed by German submarines, war was declared on Germany, and thousands of army troops were sent to France to help on the front against Germany. So tell us, General, what is your overall strategy for holding back the Germans?
We dug trenches.
Okay, and how deep are these trenches?
About 10 feet deep.
Okay, and how wide are they?
5 to 6 feet wide.
Okay, and how long are they?
400 to 500 miles long.
Okay, wait, not okay. Did you say 400 to 500 miles long?
I did.
Incredible. So how are they working?
To be honest, not so well.
Why am I not surprised? Tell me, what is the problem?
Well, they built the trench too.
I see. So what did you do next?
We got more trenches.
And then?
So did they.
How did I not see that coming? And how long are all of these trenches?
In total, about 25,000 miles.
What?
25,000 miles.
I still can't hear you.
25,000 miles, okay?
What? You haven't been fighting a war. You've been digging ditches for 3 years. No wonder no one's gaining any ground.
There was more to the effort than just digging ditches. But a year and a half after the Americans joined the fighting, the war was over.
Until it wasn't.
Yeah. And then it was called World War II. And the Great War became World War I.
Same thing, fancier equipment.
Take this.
How about this?
Ready?
We can do that too.
Take it.
And each side one up the other until the atomic bomb proved that we had the ability to just about wipe ourselves off the face of the planet. If we didn't stop.
So we went home, made agreements, and went about the business of living peaceful, productive lives. We call it the age of the baby boomers.
And the baby boomers brought us to the end of our second century as a nation, and up to where we are now.
The baby boomers also ushered in the generational description, the me generation, Gen X, the millennials, and our generation, Gen Z.
We don't have to try to sum up the effects of our own generation. Let's try to leave that for another decade.
Let's get the whole group out here and wrap things up.
We hope you've enjoyed this brief journey traveling through the history of the Americas.
Hold it! We missed something! There's something none of us remembered! We haven't said anything about Canada!
Oh no. We did forget that, didn't we? How could we forget about Canada?
It's because they sided with the British, and we're just still a little bit miffed about that.
But Canada is part of North America and deserves its place in history.
Isn't Canada pretty much just a big chunk of land that interfered with the explorers looking for the Northwest Passage?
Pretty much. But so as to not offend anyone, let's try to think of some good things we can say about it.
Well, without Canada, we wouldn't be connected to Alaska.
What else?
Canadian winters make Wisconsin winters look warm. Wisconsin winters are definitely not warm. I didn't say Wisconsin winters were warm. I said Canadian winters make them look warm.
Stop arguing and keep thinking. I know. The Canadian province of Quebec gives us a place to practice our French.
Parlez-vous français?
We must all cut it out. Does anyone else have any other ideas?
Did I mention the connection to Alaska?
Yes, you did. I'm stuck. I can't think of anything.
Neither.
Should I finally have to say something?
All right, Gabe. What is it?
Really, please.
But we did something a little different with our drama production this year, and instead of coming with a completed script, I came at the beginning of the year with 4 scenes. We had the first 3 scenes and the last scene. And everyone had at least 2 or 3 scenes that they were in, and I told them that we would write the play as we went. They got to have input in what we did. They got to tell me parts of history that they would like to cover, how they would like to do it. And you'll see that nobody has any one part. They all play a lot of different parts. And because of that, I also told them that depending on how well they memorized their lines, how well they were performing, would determine how much involvement they got to have as the play continued. So the play wasn't finally finished. Carrie, when did we finish writing it? Sometime in April? I think the last scene was done in April, and we had a group from the church here who asked if the kids could do the performance for them. That was a week ago last Wednesday, and it was the first time we had done the entire play all at one time. And so it really was a work in progress that went throughout the year. And the kids were encouraged to make changes, to make it fit what they wanted to do, to add things to it, just to give them the experience of what it was like to write, to come up with the ideas, to see what worked. So this will be the culmination of all of that. Let me go see if they're all ready.